let's get started, shall we? I'm going to go and make my little prayer. Spirit guides, universe, ancestors of the mind, I ask for your insight in my higher self as well to talk about divine love, divine feminine, divine masculine, twin flame journey, collective reading. How I wish to bring solace and understanding and empowerment to those around us who are on the same journey as me, to learn about deeper compassion and love of self-acceptance and towards others. Anything, entity, being that are not here for the highest of our all intentions of love and light and growth, they're not welcome. Please protect this reading. Okay. So I'm going to conduct a reading where I place one side is going to be you and the other side is going to be your twin. Whether you associate as divine feminine or divine masculine, energies are not associated and necessarily heavily tied with our physical bodies, but more so a type of trait, energetic trait and personality. So in the future, I want to set up like a camera so you can see. It'd be nice for you guys to be able to see the cards, but it's okay. I got you guys. The information is coming from here, the channel. Moi, le medium. Spirit guides, universe, ancestors of mine. Let's do divine feminine. 5 cards for divine feminine, please. Divine feminine, please. Collective divine feminine. Divine masculine, please. Divine masculine, collective vision. Okay. And now I'm going to look at the energies between you two. The energies surrounding and in between and connecting the divine feminine masculine, please. The energies between divine masculine and divine feminine, please. Okay, that's perfect. I never meant for these cards to be for divine or twin flames, but it works out. I think because I am a twin flame, I innately chose cards that would speak to me in that manner, if that makes sense. Spirit guides, universe, tonight. The collective energies surrounding divine masculine and divine feminine, please. This is some juicy shit. Like, you guys are in a message. Energy surrounding divine feminine and divine masculine, please. Okay, we're good. Right, so for my divine feminines, what I'm seeing right now is that you guys are in a state of hopefulness and waiting for the divine masculine to contact you but also at the same time become unconditional and releasing any expectations of hearing from them anytime soon. But on the time, it's like you're keeping open, which is wonderful. You're keeping open, but you're having no expectations on how they will deliver themselves. But you're hopeful. And you're also thinking back about the past on things that did happen between you two, and you're reflecting about it. And it's almost like you're looking at where things could have possibly went wrong, or when things start going left per se in the relationship. It's not a bad energy. No energies are bad, but it's not a toxic energy is what I'm saying. I feel like the energy from you guys are actually much more calm, and it's no longer in a state of codependency. There could be some collectives of you guys out there who are in that state, but for this reading, the bunch of you, the handful of you guys who are here and interested for twin flame reading from me, you guys are more higher along your way of your journey. And what I mean by that is you have gone ahead like a good lengthy amount of way of spiritual growth, and you've worked on yourself. You've begun facing the shadows and the sides of you that you found really hard to accept or embrace. You're still keeping your love and your heart open for this divine masculine, but you're no longer conditionally waiting for them to come back and thinking of all the things you would say to them, like, why'd you take so long, or why'd you do this, or why didn't you do that? But rather, you're just keeping the door open, but you're also not losing sleep over it, which I would have to say is a big congratulations to you, because so many of us twin flames can really get stuck in that toxic codependent loop where we're losing sleep. We are so codependent, and we miss our partner, and we want to be with them, and when we're not with them, it's almost like we can't function. It's like a form of withdrawal after feeling something so good. But that withdrawal is necessary because we need to learn that that good feeling also comes from within, and we need to start being able to withdraw from within ourselves, right? As us being the source. Wow, I said so much within 3 minutes. Is there anything else I need to hear from this? Nope, it's very clean. The energy is very clean. So I'm gonna just go move on over to the masculine side now, okay? This might just be a really short and sweet reading. It doesn't have to go on for hours and hours, you know. I don't believe readings have to go that long. What matters is the quantity of the reading. Sorry, the quality of the reading. What matters is the quality of the reading, not the quantity. Okay, so on the masculine's end, they are working on communication. I have a feeling this collective of divine masculine have a tendency to shut out their feelings when shit gets hard, is what I'm hearing. When things get hard, they emotionally close up. They clam up and they ice people out. Once again, divine masculine does not mean that you have to be a man or have male genitalia to be associated as divine masculine. You're just the more dominant energy, like the more masculine energy. That's what you are. And if you identify with that, then you're the divine masculine. So divine masculine has been working on their craft to communicate better, to communicate from a more stable place, a more mature and concise place. They're stepping into a position of leadership and taking charge of their life. Like I hear them saying that, like, they're getting their ducks lined up in a row and they're figuring the shit out. Like they're stepping into like adulthood. Like they're owning up to their responsibilities. They're taking accountabilities for the reign of their life. Like they're getting behind the wheels of life, and they're doing things that they know is going to help them develop a stable foundation for not just their future partner or whoever's involved, but within themselves. I'm going to tell you the cards that I got for the divine masculine, and I'll jump back to the divine feminine and let you know what cards I got, okay? So divine masculine, I got Ace of Swords, King of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. So when it comes to the Hierophant, I think because they are starting to become more aware with how their words come across and how people are being perceived by them, and their ability to communicate and self-awareness is growing, this is inevitably leading them to become more awakened. Okay. So also within this group of collective reading, the masculine is the less aware one of the connection. they know something is there, but they don't really know the way you guys are knowing. You know, those of you who clicked on here are most likely the divine feminines. Some of you guys are divine masculine, just like the lesser degree, like lesser amount ratio of divine feminine to divine masculine. But those of you who are here that are associating as divine masculine, you guys are becoming aware, like just as much as the divine feminine, that hey, there's something going on between us. I really do think that there's a thing to this whole twin flame journey. Like, I'm realizing we do have something really special, and I ran away with it because I think in this case the divine masculine is the runner. They ran away because they didn't know how to communicate, didn't know how to handle these situations. They've never had to communicate this deeply before, and it made them realize how much insecurities they had within themselves and their expectations and their ideal roles of what it means to be a masculine figure in this society, especially if you are already born biologically as a man or you're seen as a male. The roles are pushed onto you with social genders and gender associations in our society. It's like there's this pressure of like needing to step it up, and I feel like you, for those of you who associate a divine masculine, has finally owned up to that and be like, okay, that's what society expects, but this is what I expect for myself, and I'm going to work towards this. This is my truth, and this is what's going to bring me confidence, rather than feeling like I don't have enough to bring towards my partner because I didn't meet these standards. And that's why you guys, divine masculines, ran away. Okay, so in between, the messages that are surrounding you too are be in the present and dream of the future. When we dream, everything is possible. So I feel like when it comes to this card, it really talks about being elusive and open enough, which is exactly what the divine feminine is doing. You're in the present, but you're dreaming of the future, of the possibilities. You're open to the energies and the inspirations and the divine timing of what could possibly manifest or come into your life. And you're not holding it with condition, and you don't have expectations on how it will show up in your life. And that's a beautiful thing. And so for those of you guys who are watching, you guys are doing an absolutely good job. Gold star to you, like A++. Like, you guys are passing with flying colors. You guys are on your path. Like, you guys, there's not much you guys need to tweak. Not too much, just a little bit. Okay, and I'll get to that. Divine masculine, on the other hand, they're very much in the present, and they're learning to dream of the future, because when our spirituality awakens and our third eye chakra starts activating, we are able to see visions of the possibilities of the future that is not currently happening in the present. It's almost like we see the cookie crumbs and traces of the possibilities of how our life and our future can be, instead of what we think it can only become based off of our current results and present moment in time. So the second card is called the Union of Hearts, which is beautiful because this looks exactly like a twin flame card, huh? The Union of Hearts. There is a connection of love that defies explanation. That's exactly what I just said. And you guys saw me shuffle live on screen. There is something intrinsically unexplainable between you two. And even though you guys are not like physically connected and like in communication right now, for those of you who aren't, that's why you guys are here, I feel. You guys are connected at the soul level, your heart level, are sharing the same purpose, and you both mean well. And like, I think on a subconscious level, like maybe on like, you know, like when you sleep, you astral project. Like when you guys both go to bed, you guys like astral project. I think you guys are like telepathically sending each other messages on like, yeah, good job, keep it up, you too. But like on the conscious level and like waking level, you guys are doing your own thing and like being in your body and in your ego and like carrying out the mission of loving yourself, therefore setting an example of others on how they can love themselves in return and love one another. The next two cards that came out is Opportunity to Forgive and Let Your Past Go. I swear to you, this deck has so many other cards like go treat yourself, go to the river, go play, stuff like that. But of all things, let your past go and opportunity to forgive. Okay, I'm gonna read Let Your Past Go. So right away when I look at this picture of this angel, she's holding her stomach, I felt like maybe some of you guys may have had miscarriage. And for those of you who have, I am so deeply sorry for your loss. And although I may never understand that pain of losing a child, I do and can sympathize what it's like to lose someone or something you love, like life. And so my deepest sympathy to you. So for those of you who have experienced that, it's talking about finding forgiveness in that and learning to move past it. Not to forget it, not to forget your loved one that passed away, but to realize there's always going to be another day, and there's always going to be another chance and another opportune timing for your loved one to step into your life again. For those of you who are not on the spiritual path and may not be on the same path that I am to this degree, or may not be comprehending spirituality the way I do, what I can say to you, if it will help you or give you another insight on spirituality, is that when a soul is going to come to earth, right, in this case, you're going to give birth to a child, that soul was predestined and had a contract, a spiritual contract, to be brought into this world through you. Chances are, very likely, they're part of your spiritual tribe. They're part of your spiritual family. But because of unseen circumstances, they weren't able to come into this world this lifetime. Sometimes the contract could be something as hard to believe as they came into this world, into your body, for you to be pregnant with them. And then the agreement was for them to be there only for a short period of time, and their plan with you was for you to actually have that supposed unexpected miscarriage. And that was supposed to propel you to experience something new in this world, and to teach you some form of, not like, teach you a lesson, that's what I meant, but like to bring you a new form of contrast and a higher thinking, and propel you, I hear, into a deeper wisdom of understanding yourself and who you are and what everything around you means to you. And this soul came to have that contract with you, just like how when we meet each other in life, the people we make friends with in life and that we become lovers with, they're like soulmates and people we have contracts with to experience certain relationships to help us on our journey of growth, of serving with contrast and comparison of contrast of experiences, and to invoke and inspire new emotions with us and new ways of thinking and perceiving and experiencing and living, right? And so your child that came in and you had a miscarriage is no different in the sense that they have that same intention and love for you, and they came into your life when they did for the purpose and served that purpose when they did. And even if it seemed to be a mistake and we cannot fully ever understand the bigger picture of why things happen the way they do, but the bigger picture, there's always a reason, and it's to help fulfill a purpose for, it's like the divine timing of everything. Like things happen in a way we can't understand. It's like if we were to zone out, it's like we're watching ants. Ants are just doing what they do best, right? They don't see what we see, but they don't need to see what we see in order for them to be what they can be best, which is ants. But we see the bigger picture of how they have colonies and how they conduct and how they survive. And it's almost like that. It's like if God were to be watching us from a higher perspective, they're seeing us as ants, and we have tragedy and we go through things, and we have like prosperity and greatness in our life, and we also have traumas and sadness, but God sees a bigger picture of like why it could be happening, for divine timing, for part of our growth and part of our progression in our collective. So I just went really far out and zoned back in now, okay? So let's see what it says. Let your past go, okay? So this is to understand and be grateful that this life of yours came into your life and you both had the opportunity to experience one another, even though it was not something that was brought to fruition in the physical sense that you gave birth and they became like fully conscious and like a walking, breathing, functioning adult that they can speak to you like how you and I are speaking. You still had a connection, and that connection was important and very precious nonetheless. And it does not mean any less, and no one else around you. I'm saying this for your behalf because I feel really strongly compelled to talk about that, is that no one can take that away from you. No one can say that your relationship was nothing or wasn't even alive or aware. It still is a connection, and there was still love, and that's all that matters. They don't need to agree with you. I understand. I agree with you. So for those of you who haven't gone to that point, never experienced an abortion or a miscarriage of some form, it still talks about letting your past go. Maybe you were intending to have a family with this person. You envisioned a future with this person that didn't come to fruition, and that's also an opportune time to let those seemingly unfulfilled expectations go, so you can allow for new space, for new expectations. I mean, not new expectation, for new experiences to come into your life. So what I mean by that, so I didn't say what cards feminine had. Divine Feminine had the Lovers, 3 of Wands, 8 of Cups, Knave of Cups, and Queen of Cups. Okay, lots of emotions on your end, a lot of love. Okay, so I'm going to read what let your past go means. So let your past go says, the burden of carting your past around has made you weary, dear one. It's time to set this burden down. Keep only the lessons and the love, and leave everything else behind. You don't want it or need it, and it's now gone. So it's like a very big message for those of you. I feel like because it's over to the left with the Divine Feminine, it's something that you guys need to hear. And the message here is that sometimes you feel like when you move on with something, you feel like it shows that you're afraid that it means you don't care about it anymore, or you're going to forget about it, or the child that has passed will feel unloved, or that you're not a good mother, or if you have let go of your expectations of no longer wanting to have a family, now you've become a very disappointing woman, or a Divine Feminine disappointing. You have no purpose, honey. This is an opportune timing for you to find a new purpose, and that new purpose is being awakened within you of self-empowerment. This purpose is for you to find yourself. Okay, and why do I say that? It's because the cards that came out, it says love yourself first. Okay, your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. You need to love yourself first. Why do I say that? When we manifest something, for those of you who are into law of attraction, you know how it works, right? You must have to know how it feels like. You have to imagine, allow yourself to explore the possibilities of how it feels like to have obtained, achieved, or accomplished the one thing that you wanted most. And then with that feeling, you hold that feeling as if you're already experiencing it, as if it's already here, vibrationally, as if you already have it. And that's what opens. That's what opens. I said opens. So that's what creates the hope and opens up the gateway for the opportunity for it to manifest. How can you expect to cultivate more love in your life when you first don't know how to identify what love feels like within yourself? Like, how do you know if someone put too much salt in your plate, in your season, in your food, too much seasoning, too much salt, when you don't even know how much too much salt tastes like? How even salt tastes like at all? You must go and experiencing it first. By experiencing first, you have to first emulate it, cultivate it, and grow it within you. Just like how you were nurturing this child, or how you were trying to nurture this future that you believe so strongly with the other person. You now have to take that same ability and skill and capability and ability to envision your future, to envision how it feels like to nurture that love within yourself, that self-respect, that self-admiration, the holdings of self for space, and knowing what it feels like to feel so loved and feel so good in your own skin, and to feel respected and honored with yourself and by yourself and from yourself. That when someone else comes along and treats you the same way, you know that they're capable of loving the same amount and the depth that you have. Or if and when this twin comes back, you will know what it feels like. You'll know if they're matching you on the same energetic vibration, or if they still have some work to do. So I'm going to read the opportunity to forgive. This situation brings you the opportunity to heal, grow, and release negative patterns. Hold the intention of seeing the other person's inner divine light and goodness. We will help you release unforgiving thoughts, feelings, and energies, and lift you to a higher place of peace and compassion. Right. So I see this two koala bears here. I feel like some of you guys might feel a little bit of resentment or harbor some form of jealousy when you hear your other friends and family members and cousins and co-workers have children, or they're like XYZ months pregnant, or they're like engaged and they're getting married or having a future with a partner. And it's almost like pouring salt into a wound, and I totally understand that. But you have to realize that when you experience things around you that is what you want, it's not universe mocking you that you can't have it. It's universe letting you know that it's around you. That energy is around you. That means that you're capable of cultivating it again. Right? Like attracts like. You can't have it, and you can't be part of it, and you cannot become it if you first don't have the ability to identify and spot it out yourself first. It takes one to know one, right? You know what a grieving mother looks like. You know what a heartbreak looks like. You know what disappointment looks like. So on the flip side, it's the same thing. You know what love looks like. You know what romance looks like. You know what hope looks like. You know what the potential of a connection looks like. And when you have that, you just have to trust in your heart. You just have to trust that no matter what, you're going to be able to have this. Okay, so clearly between you two, there is chemistry. There is attraction between you two. This is why you guys are still energetically feeling that. And I know it's really important for me to say here, because I know a lot of twin flame readings, when you hear that the other person still feels the same way, it's almost like you're holding your breath for them. And you're like, it's harder for you to like heal, and like it's almost like you're putting a placeholder for that person, and you're refusing to allow someone else to come into your life, right? And that if you allow someone else to come into your life, you feel like you're betraying them, but you're not. Okay, you're not. You both have had a contract in your other lifetimes, and even on a spiritual energetic lifetimes. I can confidently say all twin flames have a contract where it's like, if you guys are not together and you guys verbally in real life with your human lips and mouths and vocal cords explained, hey, we're like breaking up, we're not seeing each other anymore, you're in no way, shape, or form obligated, neither are they, to like wait for the other person. You two have separated for the intention to grow and to experience life and to expand and to improve and work on the things that needed healing. That was what made it so toxic when you two were together. Or what, even if it wasn't toxic, it was what made it so you guys couldn't click, because you guys couldn't see eye to eye. But there was that attraction there, right? That whole pulling and pushing, a feeling of so much love yet cannot having it, and they're treating you and doing these things that are not acceptable, yet you still forgive them. That is the growing pains of your heart on understanding what love and unconditional love and compassion really feels like, what it is to, it's expanding your heart, it's growing your heart, it's opening up your heart, it's priming your heart so you're more capable of higher love. So with that being said, if you guys are actually not together, you are obligated in this lifetime to live it to your fullest. To go and date, even if you feel like you're not going to marry them, just go have fun. Of course, take precautions, because we're at that time of, the pandemic. But this is a timeless reading for those of you who have encountered this. And if we're no longer in the pandemic by the time you read this. Hooray! But the point is, you need to live and let live. Live, let God, and let love. Right? Live and let God. Allow for divine intervention. Allow for your ancestors, allow for your spirit guides to take care of all the work. Drop the heavy burden of fear. You can do things that are very honoring of the person you lost. You know, if you lost a child, you can create an altar, you can create a photo book, you can write letters and pour all your love and your sorrows and your pain, your thought, everything you have for this child. Even for those of you who are mourning the death of the relationship with your divine masculine, you can write all your feelings out in a journal, a diary. When you put it out there, it's out there. You released it. You relinquished it. You're free to start healing and living. And those energies and tensions will be received by your loved one, whether it be your child that passed away or from divine masculine on a higher level. It may send them into a trigger of deeper growth, because when you come to a realization and understanding of something, they do too, because you guys mirror one another. That's why you guys are twin flames, right? I think that is it. That's the message for our collective, for Twin Flames, this reading. I certainly hope that it resonated and it really spoke to you. And of course, if you have any more questions, feel free to leave a comment. If it resonated as well, leave a comment down in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed my vibe, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to give a thumbs up for this video if you enjoyed it, and share with those of you who you feel would benefit, and those of you who also know other Twin Flames. My heart goes out to those of you who have experienced a loss, but I know you can get through this, and I'm with you for this, and I totally understand what it's like to be on a twin flame journey. So you're gonna get through this. This is gonna be our very first reading. It's not gonna be our last. We're gonna do some more. I got you, okay? Now that we broke out of the shell and talk about the most important thing to a lot of us deep down inside our little hearts, you know. If you have any questions and you want to have a personalized reading from me, you're more than welcome to join my website down in the description box below to order a reading, and I can't wait to be able to help you out, okay? Until then, I love you so much. You got this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.